everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Maise Co. Bullet Journal. This is the one I'm going to be using for 2021, or at least the first part of 2021. I hope it's lasts me the whole year, but here is what the box looks like. It has really pretty thick washi tape around the outside, and then when you open it, there's wrapping paper as well as the notebook in a plastic cover. The shipping was awesome. It came a lot sooner than I had expected. It came in like 3 days, I believe, so it was actually really fast. And something really cool is they give you an app that you can download to watch your journal come to you. And because I was so excited for it, I downloaded the app and checked it every day and checked to see how close it was to me. So I hope you enjoy this review. If you do, make sure to like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Now for the actual journal. The journal that I got was in the A5 size, so I think their whole shop is in the A5 size. A lot of the ones when I went on the website were out of stock, so I just got the one that was in stock and that I liked. And here's what it looks like. It is a beige color and it has a really cute little gold mountain embossing on the bottom of the journal. And then a choice that you can have for $5 extra is you can put your name or something in letters on the front, but I decided not to since I wanted to keep it pretty minimalistic and I didn't really know what I wanted to write. I didn't really want to write my name because that kind of seemed iffy, so I just left it blank. Maybe I'll decorate it eventually because it seems like a surface that I could paint or something like that on top. First thing I noticed when they first opened this journal is that the pages are really thick, and that the dots on this journal are a little bit darker than I would like. Let's get into the statistics of this journal. It came in plastic packaging and cardboard packaging. I'm not sure if that's a plus or minus. It comes with a vegan leather cover, 160 GSM paper that is white, and yes, it is really white. 192 pages. And then it also has a satin bookmarks. There is a pocket in the back, and there are no pre-planned pages like indexes, no page numbers, and this was made in China. This journal also came with one clear ruler, and I think I definitely will be using this a lot, especially since it fits really perfectly in the back pocket, and it is very translucent. Here is a comparison of what the notebook paper I use now compared to this paper. Actually, my paper I use now is a cream color compared to the beautiful white, but you can really tell how the dots are darker in this journal than the ones I use now. Let's talk about the paper for this journal. The pages are really nice and really crisp of a white color, and I really appreciate that about this journal. When you feel the paper, it's like really smooth feeling. When you turn the pages, they are really thick. And I just think that is so nice. And at the end of this video, there will be a pen test, so make sure to stay tuned to that so you can see the results of what that turned out like. The cover that the bullet journal comes in is this really pretty paper sleeve, and I really love all the cute doodles on the front. Is what the cover page looks like, and now we are going to test the lay flat binding system. So here you can see me flipping through it, and there are a few pages that stay kind of upright during the beginning, so you definitely have to press them down or use your hand to weight it. But as far as the actual journal goes, or the cover, it lays flat really well. And the binding is really cool because you can see all the little sections of paper, and it's really nice. Here is the final pen test, which will be the end of this video. I'm testing out a lot of different pens and a lot of different styles and coloring harder and softer and using a bunch of different things. And I'm sad to say that watercolor and permanent marker did not do as well as I expected, especially watercolor. I would have loved to do watercolor directly onto this paper, but because it bleeds through so much, I'll have to use a separate piece of paper to put on top. I am starting with my favorite pens that I use most often, which is the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. I used the soft tip dual brush pen for this one, and I didn't notice any bleed through. I was checking periodically through this whole video because I was like, please don't bleed through. I really want to be able to use my favorite markers. So the first 5 or 6 of them is the ones I use the most, and then I tried out permanent markers and stuff like that. So here are the markers I ended up doing. I did a Tombow Fudenosuke, it's hard to describe, that fancy brush pen. Then I did a Pilot gel pen, a Tombow dual brush pen, a Micron 01 fine liner, which is the only one I use, and I wasn't really worried about that one. But I also did a Tombow twin tone marker. I tried out my whiteout on this paper to make sure it matched, and it does, with a little bit of, the whiteout is a little bit more creamy than the paper, so I think it'll match fine. The Creative Memories, which is an alcohol-based marker that's like really watered down, and that one actually worked out fine. But then I also used a permanent marker, a Tombow Mono Twin. I got this as a set with all my other click-free brush pens, and I have never used it before, but it just seemed like a cool pen because it's like a permanent fine liner. So I use it for like crafts or maybe like wrapping gifts and writing small notes if you want a smaller Sharpie. This is what that one was for. I also tested how white gel pen does over black gel pen. Not that that's a paper, I just think, yeah. And then I did 3 different watercolor swatches. One of them is a gradient, and I'm happy to say that this paper is really easy to blend colors together, which was really surprising for me. The only spots where the watercolor bleeded through was the parts where I added too much water, so I think as long as you keep minimal amount of water, you'll have no trouble. And the wrinkling isn't even that bad either. It only bled through in the spots where I used a ton of water, and yeah, I think it really turned out. Also, I did a lot of layering on one of my little watercolor paintings, and there were some spots found throughout the drawing, so if you're going to use watercolor in this journal, I would say keep the watercolor minimal, or just get a different piece of paper and put it on top, just like you would do for a normal journal. Now I'm just going to finish up taking my pen test, and then I will show you the final results. And yeah, thank you so much for listening this far. As you can see, I got a little worried with this permanent marker. I wanted to keep on layering it till it totally bled through. I just saw really bad ghosting. I never bled through, which I was so nervous about, so I put that little paper behind it, but it never totally bled. It just kind of, like, it never bled to the next page. Does that make sense? So, like, it didn't bleed into 2 pages. It's just on the 1 page, which I actually do appreciate. Here you see me, and I am starting up my watercolor gradient, which turned out really cute. This one didn't ever bleed through because I was really cautious about using a little bit of water and a lot more of that, although I did go over it several times. The paper didn't tear at all through the whole thing or leave those little paper scraps that deteriorate the paper. So all in all, I just was frustrated that the watercolor bled through to the other side, but I'm not a huge watercolor expert. And I don't use it that often in setups. Even if I do, then I just use a different piece of paper all the time. So here is the final reveal for the pen test. As you can see, the permanent marker did bleed through, like I was talking about before, and also some of the watercolor and a little bit of that permanent fine liner Sharpie, the Tombow Mono Twin. Here's a close-up of what bled through. So as you can see, it only bled through in the spots where I used a lot of water, and I was hoping to do a lot of water, and here is that permanent marker I used. So yeah, it bled through a decent amount, the permanent marker, but then the watercolor was the one that bled through a lot if you used a lot of water. Nothing else bled through at all, and that was really nice. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or have any questions additional about the journal, make sure to put them in the comments down below, and subscribe to my channel. My Instagram is going to be linked in the description box below if you want to give it a follow. Thank you. See you next video.